It's Lisa. I am doing an art journal spread today with some pieces out of the kit that I put together in an earlier video. I'm starting with quite a few magazine clippings. Just looking for things that appeal to me. I don't really have a plan for the page. I don't really have a plan as far as what I want to say, but I did have an idea that I would put down some of these pieces from the magazines, and then I would go over them with some white gesso and sort of erase then with, or pull off the gesso to bring out the color underneath. I'm putting them on with Mod Podge. I use the matte version. These came from mostly decorating magazines and some catalogs. Those apples were actually from a fruit tree catalog. My husband has planted I don't know how many fruit trees, and he has never harvested anything. He's very good at growing other things, but for some reason he has no luck with fruit trees, so I've started just hiding, throwing away, or cutting up the fruit tree catalogs when they come, because it's no point in buying and planting any more fruit trees. And we're the Apple County, and for some reason they just aren't doing well here. So we're going to keep putting down pieces and kind of fill in the blank spaces. I put this kit together, as I say, in an earlier video just to have some stuff already there so I wouldn't have to go through magazines or go through my stash to find little bits like of map prints and things that I'm going to add here. Right now I'm using gesso, and I have a baby wipe handy to pull some of this back off. And I was really wanting to get more white, especially around the edges. I really think I pulled the gesso off too quickly. I think I should have let it dry more. So the look I got was actually just more of an all-over muted kind of look, which is attractive. It's just not quite what I was going for. And then the gesso settles into some of the little cracks, or not cracks, but wrinkles in the paper where I had applied it to the background. Also going to add a little bit of paint. I went ahead and used some green and khaki colors, and I go with the neutrals that are in some of these photos. And the theme for this is going to start to emerge as I get a little bit more of nature colors on this page. Using a border sticker here, kind of go across the page with this. A couple of the things I had in my box were some trims, like this burlap trim and that really open weave mulberry paper that will give the page some texture without it being too bulky. And I was using my paint jars there to kind of weight down that piece of burlap so it would stick a little bit better. Okay. And I've got a couple of paint colors here to do a little bit of jelly plating around the edges. My intention was to use some stamps and pick up the color from the jelly plate and then stamp directly on there. That didn't work really well, so I just used the jelly plate in a more traditional sense and stamped it onto my layout, or to my art journal page, I should say. So we're getting some browns here. Again, kind of continuing along with this nature theme. I also have a little bit of copper. Just for a little bit different look. And I'm brushing a little bit around the edges of the paper with these same paints. Just picking them up off my jelly plate. So kind of finish the edges and then that paint won't go to waste. And I'm adding a little bit more green here with some gelatos and some pinks. To kind of just adding a little bit of extra color to kind of define some of the areas. I think I used a dark purple and some gold in different places. Add a little water to kind of brush those colors, spread those colors out a bit. The nice thing about gelatos is that they dry permanent, so you can go over them with other colors once they're dry, and they won't come up like a watercolor will. You get real intense color too. And based on my colors and the images that I chose, it really seemed like this was starting to talk about the seasons a little bit. So we're going to use that in the title. I'm going to give myself a place to do journaling here as well. I'm doing some gesso on a triangular shaped jelly plate. These are the mini jelly plates that come in packs of 3. I love this triangle shape. I do a lot of things with this. And I'm going to create myself 3 areas that I can journal. So once this dries, then I can just write right on top of those. After they dried, I went over them then with a black pencil and kind of do the same thing with that sticker, and then I'll use that area for part of my title and then write my journaling in the white triangles. And Ready for a Change of Season is this title for this page, because it was been a really hot summer, the latter part of it very dry, and I was ready for fall. Unfortunately, fall has been more hot and dry. I did this page probably 2 months ago. I just hadn't gotten around to doing the voiceover and everything for it. But I'm in the part of the state that's very, very dry, a lot of forest fires to our west, and every day getting some smoke coming in here. So it's just a very different experience for us, and unfortunately there's no rain in sight. So the new season hasn't brought us quite what we were looking for. We've got a few cooler days. Using the Faber-Castell markers to add some shading to these elements. And the page is just about done. I am going to add some stickles to my trim there, just to brighten that up a little bit. A bottle of stickles goes forever and ever and ever, and especially these colorful ones. I don't use them as much. They're fun though. So this is my page. I'll show you some close-ups here in a moment, and thank you so much for watching and joining me today.